Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Friday, December 21st. We have the Walking Encyclopedia with us today. That's a compliment. That's a compliment. JOAN STACK, State Historical Society. Good to have you here, Joan.
Well, it's good to be here.
And you brought along another Walking Encyclopedia?
Yeah. Well, I brought along another one member of our staff. This is John Schneider, who is the assistant preparator with us. And I brought him because we have an exciting exhibition up right now, a little bit different from what we usually do. We have an exhibit of the staff's artwork at the State Historical Society.
The staff's artwork at the State Historical Society.
Yeah, this is going to be our last exhibition in the Corridor Gallery because we're moving to a new building. We'll come and talk a little bit more about that another time. But we thought as a thank you to our staff and a way to say goodbye to all the people that come to visit us in Ellis Library, we would put up an exhibit to show off the talent of our many people that work for the State Historical Society.
How many pieces of artwork do you have on display?
Well, it's over 20 staff members are represented, and John was involved in putting it up. How many do you think total?
Total representational works would be, I'd say, 120.
Wow.
So quite a lot. Some very small, some large.
Yeah.
And I brought a couple of examples, and so
okay, the picture. What do we want to hold this picture on? But this, I'll just hold it up here and get whatever camera you want. This is a beautiful picture of the state capitol taken when?
It was taken a couple years ago by our director, our executive director, Dr. Gary Kramer. And many of you may know him. He's been around the state for a long time, former state archivist, but now the director of the State Historical Society of Missouri. And he has actually published landscape photos before. He loves the Missouri landscape. And this is an image of the state capitol in the snow. And
this is beautiful. If you're listening on the radio and can't see this, it is absolutely gorgeous. It looks like right after a nice snowfall, the branches of the trees are all covered with snow and ice, and the ground is white, unbothered by any footprints at all. It's just gorgeous. And this is one of the displays you have up?
Yeah, this is one of the photos we have on display. Several of our staff members did submit photos, so we have a lot of really beautiful photos, a lot of photos of the Missouri landscape. So
yeah. John, hand me that, if you would.
There you go.
Now, the next, am I holding this correct?
Yeah,
that's correct.
Okay. Describe what I'm holding right now.
Well, before we get to that, I just want to point out that we have a number of people who actually have degrees in art, and several have minors in art. So we've got a lot of really high-quality work. But I thought we would showcase today John, because he just finished his MFA in art, and this was one of the works he did in conjunction with that.
Oh, this is your work, John?
Yeah, that is one of my most recent pieces that I did. My MFA is going to be finished up as we speak, and this was one of my iterations of working with the myth of Superman. And me being in the military, I thought it was a pretty good myth of how to represent and show the the fragmentation of the psyche through my earlier renditions of the Superman comics, which kind of led to me going into the Marine Corps. And the
Superman comics led to you going into the Marine Corps?
Yeah. And it was funny because when I got out of the boot camp, they said, "Oh, you now have a Superman complex. You're bulletproof because you made it through the stages of being initiated, via the rituals of the military."
Yeah, but this drawing, the painting, this is a painting, right? It's a very large painting.
Oh, yes, because I wanted the figures to kind of have that one-on-one relation to the actual person.
Now, looking at this, it looks like you've taken parts of comic book pages, cut them up in pieces, and tried to paste them back together, but they're in all different directions. Is that what it's supposed to look like?
Yeah, and then I grouped them back together kind of by color, and then also by the figures. So the figures are fragmented first by the cutting process, and then they're I guess, pulled back together in these distorted, displaced, grotesque figures via the painting process.
And you did this as a painting.
Yeah, 110, 120 hours to make the 6.5 foot by 9 foot painting.
This is a 6.5 foot by 9 foot painting.
Yeah, and
it's displayed at the State Historical Society.
Yeah. It's like we start with Gary's photo on the wall and then end with my big painting at the end.
Now, when it's not at the State Historical Society, is it displayed at your home?
In my studio, but soon to be home because my studio will be gone.
Okay.
Because I will be graduated now.
Yeah. Well, that's absolutely amazing. And how many other different pieces of artwork you said are available there?
Yeah, there are a lot of different types of artwork. We have a beautiful batik, a large batik by one of our archivists in Springfield, and it's of the Titanic. And so a batik is a work on cloth that's made by using, it's an African technique of using wax and dyes to create an image on cloth. It's a really beautiful.
And it's the Titanic.
It's an image of the Titanic. She's fascinated by the Titanic. And so we've got some other works. We've got a quilt in the exhibit. We've got etchings. We've got paintings. We've got some graphic design work by one of our staff members. So there's just an enormous variety. And a comic. We have a work of comic art in this
So this
show.
display will be up as long as you are in your current location.
That's right, until April.
Until April.
Yeah. So at the end of April, we'll be shutting our doors and getting ready for that big move.
And the big move will take place when?
It will take place in May, June, and July, and we will have our grand opening in August.
So are you saying that during May, June, and July, people will not be able to come to the State Historical Society?
That's right, because the Ellis Library facility will be shut down, and we may have a soft opening in July. We'll see how that goes, but the grand opening will be in August.
So you're going to be very busy. You're going to be extremely busy, aren't you?
Yes.
Well, I hope that you will find some time to come and visit us during that period.
Oh, yeah, and we'll come and show you some images of the new building and talk a little bit about what we'll be able to offer there as well.
Yeah, what are you most excited about?
Well, I'm very excited, and I'm sure John is as well, with all the space we'll have. We will be able to display a lot more artwork, and we'll have a lot more space to store the artwork safely. So it'll be just a much better facility for us to protect and conserve those cultural treasures of the state of Missouri.
And it's going to take a good 3 months or more to do the conversion, right?
Yeah, I mean, right now we're in the inventory process. John has been involved with that, and so is our collections manager, Greg Thompson, and we've done a lot. But when you actually have to move over 20,000 artworks,
oh my goodness! I think moving from a house is hard. Move from a museum. All right. Thank you both so much for coming by. We appreciate it. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to all of you, and we'll look forward to talking with you in 2019.
Yes.
Monday, Larry Brown will be with us. If there's something you'd like to hear or see, I'd love to hear from you. Just drop me an email, pepperp@missouri.edu. Have yourself a good weekend. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.